Today I'm going to tell you a story, a very fun story of how I got into my latest hyperfixation while I draw my new designs of the gods. When I was but a wee little lad, I went to the library at my school because it was a Wednesday and that was our library time. I got to pick out at least one or two books, and the one that stuck out to me the most was this Greek mythos book with a really shiny gold cover. I was already fascinated with stories about mythological creatures, so I was like, hell yeah, shiny, interesting book. Now, when we got back to class and started reading our books, I was just skimming through the pages because, to be honest, as a kid, I hated reading. I read bits and pieces of it, but not the full book. But I remember this one quote at the back of the book that said something along the lines of Aries/Mars, ruling planet Mars, god of war, and the occasional school bully. I thought that was the funniest thing ever, and at the end of class I showed it to my teacher, and she was like, that's interesting. Which is like, I don't think she was really interested, but it was still fun. I was really happy with that book, and then I had to return it and never saw it again. At that time, I was not really that interested in the myths. I thought they were cool, but I was more interested in other things, like anime. By middle school, all my interest in the myths was gone because I found a new hyperfixation that lasted for 7 whole years. It was on a specific anime called Shitsuji or Black Butler. If you scroll further down on my Tumblr, you will find a lot, and I mean a lot, of Kuro art. I was obsessed. Mainly because it was one of the first animes I ever watched. If you're curious about the first anime I've ever watched, it was Vampire Knight. A very regrettable experience because I was 8 and being introduced to the concept of was not on my bucket list. But I digress. I loved Kuro. It was my favorite, and I mean favorite, obsession, and I still watch the newer seasons that just came out, and it is awesome. I love it. But this hyperfixation was a blessing because it made me interested in the olden days, 19th century, Victorian era, and it also inspired how I dressed. But it also came with a downside because I was so obsessed with it, I didn't really focus on anything else. I missed out a lot in my childhood. I didn't really make a lot of friends, but that was okay. I liked being alone. I was alone for like most of elementary school when I came to America because my mom was working all the time and I had a few babysitters and my sister, but when I got older I didn't need them anymore and I kind of just took care of myself. So I had all the internet access I could need. Of course, this led to dark places and a few bad interactions with people on Amino, but I was just happy I could find people who liked Kuro as much as I did. Now, this was all during the pandemic when everyone was stuck inside, so that made my antisocialness and depression worse, and it made my obsession about Kuro even more intense. When we finally got back to school, I found it easy to adjust, but not easy to focus on my schoolwork. I was failing, but still maintaining an average of A's, B's, and C's, and sometimes D's. Middle school was really hard at the end of 7th grade because that's when the bullying began, not due to the Kuro obsession, but due to being an undiagnosed autistic trans boy and also gender identity issues and multiple other factors. When 8th grade came, I decided to take a break from Kuro. For 6 to 7 months, I was doing fine. I was focusing on other things. I was improving in my art. I drew so much fan art that it got in the way of actually improving in other aspects of art, like backgrounds and environmental settings. I just recently started improving my background designs. I still get that happy flutter when the background and the character design goes well with each other. Moral of the story, don't let your hyperfixation stunt your art journey, because it feels like you missed out on a lot. It's like, everybody's improving in their in those aspects, and you're falling behind because you spend so much time on that one thing. You continuously drew it. I got really good at character design and drawing people, but really bad at drawing objects. Anyways, I went back to drawing Kuro stuff for a couple months until high school came and my obsession started dying down when I met friends that were interested in Greek mythology. In my freshman year of high school, I was still kinda obsessed with Kuro until I slowly started to lose interest and was looking for another obsession to latch onto. In the fall of 2024 was when I was in 10th grade. And I started to listen to Epic the Musical, and I loved it. I mean, I was genuinely obsessed with it because it was I heard one song earlier that year, which was Just a Man, and I was like, oh my gosh, this song is pretty cool, but I didn't hear the full musical yet, so I was like, this is a cool song, until finally the fall, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, this is wow. But anyways, I decided to get into Greek myths in general, watching 1 to 10 hours of YouTube videos of just stories about the gods and heroes of Greek mythology. If you're also wondering what my favorite myths are, it's the marriage of Aphrodite and Hephaestus / Ares and Aphrodite's affair, and also Dionysus and the pirates. Yeah. My favorite god is Ares. I don't have a favorite goddess, though. I mean, I sometimes say Hera is my favorite goddess, but I don't know. I also used to say Aphrodite was my favorite goddess, but I honestly don't know who's my favorite goddess. A close second is for my favorite god, my second favorite god is Hephaestus. I have a weird obsession with blacksmiths. I just think they're really cool. Yeah. The most important thing that ever happened in my hyperfixation with the gods was it helped me remove myself from Christianity. My whole family, except my sister, are Catholics and Christians. But I'm much happier than I've ever been because I don't have to constantly worry about the threat of eternal damnation on my back. So I'm just happy, I'm vibing. Yeah, I don't think this is a hyperfixation I will ever get tired of. And since I have a comic that's for a long-term kind of deal, the hyperfixation will never end. And if I do get bored, I'm probably just going to, I don't know, find another story that I really like. Yeah. Funniest thing funniest fact of all of this was I realized I was asexual because of my obsession. Athena and Aphrodite helped me figure that out, which was just a weird pattern of looking at YouTube videos of asexuals and realizing, oh wait, shoot, I have that. I have those traits. Oh wow, okay. But yeah, I still have to buy a lot of books and make a lot of art of and for the gods. But in the meantime, I'll just leave you with these. Psst, yeah, I like eating raw. Today I'm gonna be Today I'm gonna tell you tell Today I'm gonna tell a story, a very fun story of how I got into my latest hyperfixation while I draw my new designs of the gods. Every design seen with a different. Today I'm gonna tell a very fun story of how I got into my latest hyperfixation while I draw my new designs of the gods.